I'm a performer, sound artist. Some people say inventor, but I'm not sure about that. Uh, and I just have worked with electronic music since 1975. None of you were born. It was not, by desire. It really was great encounters. And just telling a friend recently, everything I became or did was all through people I met, never by will, or it's just great influences. And I guess at my age, maybe you start thinking a bit, rewinding a bit. And then I never really did anything on my own. It was always people who inspired me. So it was first curiosity. It still is curiosity that drives me, not understanding really drives me. So I never understand exactly the next step. Always kind of trying to reinvent and undo and so I think at the time it was like a friend and there was a little synthesizer and I was like, well, that's weird. Electricity is making sound. That still baffles me. I mean, like I tell people, and they say, well, of course it does. This. I say, I know the technology, but it still is an amazing transformation from electricity to sound. It's like so incredible. So then I met Eliane Hadig, who was my teacher, who's a French composer. And Eliane Hadig is a very important electronic music. She's quite old now. She's like 94, but she's like the superstar of electronic music. At the time, she was one of the only person with a personal synthesizer. There's not that many. It was very expensive. And so anyway, I worked with her. And she sent me back to America. And then I was introduced to Robert Ashley and David Berman and Terry Riley at Mills. So I went to Mills in 78 and then graduated and then continued. Synthesizers are very expensive, right? So I made my own. I built my own in the 80s with kits. You could get kits, kind of what's popular now, except then you couldn't get it. So I started making kits and then started performing with computers, which, we could do. It's all like old history, right, for you guys. But then you had a computer and so how do you perform with a computer? So for a while, I was still mixing analog, cassettes, voice. Once I started performing with computer, I was like, oh, I have to find a way to access the processes differently from a keyboard, a key at a time. So I had a friend, Paul de Marinis, who helped me, and I made a glove, a lady's glove, and then I made 2, 3, 4, 5, and then after that I gave it up, and then I made another instrument, and then I made another instrument, just as ways to find ways to keep the magic, keep the mystery, and find a way to connect with an audience, somehow in a kind of like more intuitive way than at a keyboard. It's about sound in its many forms, whether it's in space, in bodies, in politics, it's really giving sound some kind of a place of revelation. It reveals space, it reveals character, it reveals politics, it reveals. So I think it's really thinking of sound outside of music, which is one form of sound, as far as I'm concerned. But it's really somehow listening and understanding. The piece I'm going to do now, the currently named Ladies' Balls, it's definitely an exploration where I just, explore And then these things come up, this instrument or this sound, and now I'm like still trying to figure out what it is. It's like giving birth to a strange animal, and you go, "This is mine." I wish I had kind of like, let go of the worry of what is it, what is it going to be, how does it make sense, how is it, what's the curve, what's the, and that's always there. You try not to have an end result, because an end result is always a way to close exploration and close this, how this whatever thing you make engenders other things. So if you lock it too much into what you think it should be, or what you think it is, you kind of pretty much kill it. You obviously hope to empower people who feel like they don't have that power to do what they want to do for various reasons, and often women is a big part of that group, and so yeah, just being curious to invent and create and not worry so much about what it is, and keeping the kind of the mystery alive, and and have some, you're not going to make money from it. I tell my students, just get a job that's not too harmful, and just try to really use it as a vehicle of discovery. And if they make money, it's great, but you need a community, I think. It's very hard to do it alone. Some people manage to, but I think in general it's hard to do it alone. Not with some support, but as soon as you have 2, 3, 4 people, and then you can do some little events, and kind of share and support. I think that's the main thing, is find a community that's not destructive.